Welcome everybody. And this is actually pretty awesome. So for those of you who don't know, I am the Andrew Lean, Dean of College of Science and Engineering, and I'm super excited to be here to celebrate what is now our third annual College of Science and Engineering Employee Recognition Program. And it's pretty cool. I mean, can you believe it's like our third one? Um, uh, this is super exciting, and we've actually come up a, a, a long way, and it's all really good since we launched it in 2022. We didn't know if it was going to work, and I think the first time we did it, like the room was half full. And so when I walked in this morning and there's like, a buzz, everybody's chatting, and it's like, I mean, all the seats are taken except the ones in front. It's just like in class. That is just super exciting and super fulfilling. Also, if you just look at like the nominations that came through as well too. I think when we first started this, we had 16 nominations, and then last year we had 18. This year we have 26. So we're building momentum here to recognize the employees, and I think that's great. I said it before, I'll keep repeating. Again, staff are the backbone of any successful organization, and the more we can do to a brave student that sits down in front, that's awesome. The more that we can do to recognize them, let them know like that they are not just a valuable part, but really core to a lot of stuff we do. The more we can do that, the better. Um, Another thing that was super cool to see, it's going to be transparent here, but it was the quality of the nominations. I think the first time we did this, you were just trying to figure it out. We didn't really know what we're doing, but it's been refined. And kudos to Joanne. Where's Joanne? Sorry. Kudos to Joanne and the rest of the HR folks for refining the process, making it better and better and better. Um, uh, the quality of the time people have spent on providing sort of like really insightful and thoughtful comments to support the nominees. It is extremely heartwarming to see the whole college sort of like taking the effort to recognize the really extraordinary efforts of our staff. So, um, you know, forgive me for being a little overdramatic, but I feel lucky to be working with folks that are so good and are now starting to recognize how good they are and having other people recognize how good they are. So this is a really good event for me. I feel very lucky. Um, you all are kind of a really good example, an exemplar. I don't want to drive jealousy amongst colleges, but of like how a good organization should function. You should all do your work right and recognize that the excellence is the goal and recognize when it's achieved in each other. Super grateful to be here emceeing this. So uh, enough of the preamble. When we first started this, we wanted to do more than just a. It's a very nice plaque. Don't get me wrong. We want to do a plaque and like a certificate, stuff like that. But we wanted to actually make it meaningful. So each outstanding service award, it consists of one time $1,000 a check. So that's good sort of holiday funds that you can use. And it's presented to the individual winner of each category. We have several categories. We have the academic professional and administrative, the civil service and labor representative category, and we also have a group awards, work group awards. And each member of the work group, in addition to the plaque, gets a $500 check. So we wanted to put something meaningful behind it. In addition to these wonderful commemorative plaques here that were developed and fabricated in the CSE machine shop. So that's really very good. Um, that did not bias the committee in any way, trust me. Um, so I also want to thank the folks. It goes through a couple different processes. I mean, a lot of effort went into nominating folks. Awesome, right? And then the committee that evaluated them spent a lot of time, right? Again, this is the third time going through. This is actually now becoming like institutionalized, which is awesome. This is what we wanted when we started it. The rubric that was used, very clear, very cogent. They spent a lot of time being accurate in how they evaluated folks. When I read through all of the nominations and the finalists, it was very clear. It made a ton of sense. So I really want to thank the members of the committee that helped review all the submissions to provide feedback. I fully agreed with their conclusions. There's nothing where I saw and I was like, well, I'm not really sure if they got the weightings right on that. No, it was awesome. As a matter of fact, if you're here and you were on the search, the committee, evaluation committee, could I ask you to just sort of raise your hand, even if you're not going to stand up, just so we could recognize the effort? Totally outstanding job on this very important initiative. I also do want to do a special shout out to the person that was doing a lot of cat herding and behind the scenes, Joanne. If he did special thanks. Um, wow, I'm good. Thank you very much for all the effort in this. Um, now, on to sort of like why you came. Um, Before I announced the recipient of this year's Outstanding Service Award for the P&A category, I do want to acknowledge all of the nominees. And what we have is you sort of have a listing here of all the nominees. And forgive me if I don't pronounce your name correctly, Sean Albiston, Michelle Anderson, Janet Brennerhofer, Shannon Dahl, Jay Delaney, Dan McDonald, Jillian Moldestad, Tiffany Ralston, Erica Ratner, and Heather Steen. And so let's give them all a round of applause to acknowledge their really outstanding contributions to CSE. Um, and before the big reveal, I do want to. It wasn't just straight up like numerical. And there was some context and backstory behind each of the awardees. I want to share a few things that stood out from the P&A awardee. So this recipient here, they have repeatedly gone above and beyond to serve their unit and the students taught in that unit. Um, they were instrumental in, as you know, here in CSE, we've gone through this growth path of increasing the number of undergrads. Um, uh, a big part in response to a super tight labor market in the state of Minnesota. Across the U.S., yes, but definitely within the state of Minnesota. Our unemployment numbers are historically low, and in the STEM fields, they are really, really low. So most of my conversations with folks in industry revolve around trying to find additional talent. And so we've tried to meet some of that demand by expanding our talent, but with that comes some challenges in how do you teach more students, particularly in lab-based courses. It makes it a challenge. If you've scaled your labs for a certain size, and you just add a 1.x a number of folks, how do you manage that? And so this person was instrumental in managing that, particularly for some of the lab sections. They helped with like reformulating the lab layouts, how they're offered, the throughput, the even the physical offering, like where stuff was placed. And turn one of what was our big concerns, how do we manage this influx, into a success. It wasn't so much like, oh my gosh, how do we manage it now? It was like, okay, we're doing it well. Things seem to be working well. All positive feedback from the students that have gone through some of these. So it's been relatively transparent in that growth, which was exactly what we wanted. And so for that, the P&A 2024 Outstanding Service Award is going to go to Sean Albiston from the School of Physics and Astronomy. Congratulations, Sean.
Thank you.
Hold that up.
You. So congrats again. Yeah, physics, the intro physics classes were one of the ones we were kind of worried about when we were adding. And thanks very much for making it smooth. So the next category for outstanding service award is for a civil service. And again, like with the P&A, before announcing the recipient for the civil service category, I want to acknowledge like all of the nominees this year. They're all very, very good. We had Robert Admonson, Rocha Duarte, Molly Dunlap, Ben Erickson, Aaron Flathman, Britt Kosak, Nate Lynch, Janine Maiden, James Nussbaum, Molly Schmitz, and Sarah Specht. So can we give them all a round of applause? And next, I want to share a few things that stood out to me about this year's recipient for that category and what led to the eventual decision. The candidate that ended up getting this, I think it's fair to say that they are the financial backbone of their department. I shudder to think what would happen if they were not there. They have worked closely with departmental leadership to understand current financial positions of the department as a whole, as you know, what to do if different scenarios play out, which is incredibly important in terms of scenario planning, because it helps drive some of the decisions that the department makes long term, as well as some of the things that happens at the college. Um, in addition to doing that for the overall department, as if that wasn't enough, they've been critical for individual faculty in terms of handling of accounts, giving the faculty some trust in terms of what the spend rates are, so we don't put a department into a hole. And that's really, but by the same token, you don't also leave resources on the table. And it's not just for sort of the senior faculty. This is for faculty at all career ranks, helping young folks figure out how to set up their new grants. And one of the things that really stood out in the comments that came back, we do read the comments, was the consistency of the not just their effectiveness functionally, but the rapport they seem to have built up with the faculty. So that the faculty can go with them with questions, small and large, and they're sort of like very receptive, and they can deliver both the, oh yes, we can do that, and no, that would not be a really good idea to do right now. So it's super helpful. One of the things that came up in the comments was I think one of the faculty called him the chief obstacle remover. I don't know if that's an official title, but that kind of sort of tells you, you know, if you can remove obstacles, particularly for very complicated financial transactions, that can make things just it opens up the scope of the possible even larger. So, you know, the 2024 Civil Service Outstanding Service Award goes to Aaron Flathman from biomedical engineer.
Thank you very much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you for everything you do. They keep us out of trouble. Yeah, we might actually have to make that an official title, like the chief obstacle remover. um, so the next category for outstanding service award is for individuals in the labor represented category. And as with the previous two, I want to make sure that all the folks that were nominated are recognized, because all of them were very worthy of their nomination. So that's Taylor Lopez Angel, um, or Angel, Evan Bates, Eric Noren. And there was all very good nominations. In the end, the awardee, a big part of it came about because sort of like their level of resourcefulness and really sort of innovation in their role, thinking outside the box. It was clear that um, uh, they would take a look at things as problems, and rather than figure out what can we do within the current sort of regulations and constraints, to think about, okay, how do we get things accomplished, period. Um, well within regulations and constraints, absolutely, yes. We don't break laws, but it wasn't like that's not my job. It was, how do we get this done? Um, and their job is largely to keep and it's a primarily research role, but it's to keep operations running in their organization, whatever that takes. Um, and when they were faced with issues or work stoppages, again, the resourcefulness comes up again, to find really excellent solutions, sometimes outside the box. The thing too that really impressed me is that they take a look at something that would take, oh, that's going to take, 4 months, 6 months to find a part, to source it, to get the vendor, blah, blah, blah. And they can say, okay, well, I think with something creative, and it could be a creative fabrication technique, they could be borrowing something from someplace else and get it done in 5 days. And that, in terms of keeping operations running, without sacrificing quality or safety or anything like that, is amazing. The fact that their solutions are also cost effective, extremely appreciated. The other thing too that's cool about the awardees, at least from the feedback that we got, is that they always seem to go the extra mile. It's never not their job. It can be coming in outside of business hours for a project, or helping out, staff within the facility for something that's maybe not directly in terms of keeping things running. It may be additional insight into why something isn't working, instrumentation wise. And so, super excited to present this 2024 Labor Represented Outstanding Service Award to Eric Noren from St. Anthony Falls. Yes. No, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for everything you do. The representation too. You represent Sapple. Holiday colors.
One, two, three. One, two, three.
Thank you. Congratulations again, Eric. And so the final award is for work group, right? So this honors contributions of anywhere between 3 to 6 staff members that are a group that work together. There are a couple different nominations, and I want to take the time to recognize both of them before announcing which group was this year's winners. So the first group is the CSE Machine Shop, which includes Lindsay Fisher, Ethan Miller, Peter Ness, Max Olson, Jay Schmulowitz, and Nathan Walkington. And the second group is from Computer Science and Engineering, and it's the undergrad TA staffing group, which includes Phil Croteau, Kelly Thomas, and Elise Waters. And so the awardee group that was the recipient, a super awesome, great asset to the college, and it provides resources that touch nearly every CSE student and faculty. And they're called upon to solve everyday problems as well as innovate when they have challenges that are completely new to them and to us sometimes as a college. They keep stuff running well and even extend the life of equipment to save both time and money. They're leaders in understanding safety aspects of the work being done around the college and instruction and research, and make things work well while being safe. And so you can probably guess the work group award And again, it has nothing to do with the fact that they made plaques. That's just a bonus. But it is our CSE shop. Come on up. I don't know if are all 6 of you here, or if 1, 2, 3. We're missing one. All right. One I know, Lindsay. Yes. All right. We'll go this way, Max. Thank you. Thank you. And then we've got Ethan. Nathan. Okay, which one of these is somebody that's not here? Jay? Okay, all right, Peter. Thank you. I was going to guess. Let's squeeze in.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And great job actually on the plaques too. Those are really cool. I will have to ask, is this just polycarbonate? Acrylic? Okay. Okay. I like it. I like it. It's nice. Very nice. Very nice. So again, what I'd like to do is, can we have another round of applause for all of the recipients? Okay, Eric, were you going to say something here? It says on the agenda, Eric. I'm good at following directions.
Hi, everyone. Eric Mundell, HR Director here in the college. And I just want to echo Dean Lean's comments in terms of just being able to see this now over the last several years grow into the event that it is. And I just deeply appreciate all the tremendous work that is done by all of our staff here. There's just incredible work being done, and it's fun to be able to get together on an annual basis and recognize some of that. So thank you all for joining us today.